So here we are with Dewi Evans from Stonedead Festival. He's going to talk about volunteering at Stonedead Festival. Dewi, Krusher, have I said that right?
It was very close, Darren. It's Croeso.
Krusher, welcome. I
Thank
shall
you.
remember that. I shall remember that next time. So, to start with, I think people who are going to be watching this probably know this story anyway. But for those who have been in under a rock for the last 5, 6 years, can you quickly just say how Stone Deaf, as it started out with, started really?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going back, what? Where are we now? 2024, not 2014, 2024. So we're going back to the early or the back end of 2017. There was a conversation held on Facebook on the old Monsters of Rock and Download Veterans page. And it was all about, wouldn't it be nice to get back to the old one-day festival? And that's how the conversation started. And then someone somewhere along the way said, well, okay, then, if you think you can do it, put your money where your mouth is. So a few people said, yeah, we could do it. I'm sure we can. So that was the embryonic sort of start of it. And it was purely a conversation on Facebook. And then
Hmm.
a few people got together. Neil Maynell made a few phone calls to a
Right.
few people that were on the group and said, do you know what? Do you reckon you could do this? So initially, I was tasked with security, being
All
an
right.
ex-copper in that.
I was going to ask, were you in on the ground floor then? Were you one of these first ones?
Yeah,
And
pretty
so
much.
originally security. What did you think about that?
Well, being an ex-policeman, it sort of would fit the bill, excuse the pun. Um, so I said, yeah, okay, I'm happy to do that, whatever you need. And I just bought into the whole ethos of it, the old Monsters of Rock style, one day, one stage, eight, nine bands playing. It just seemed like, wouldn't it be lovely to get back to those halcyon days? Or how, what's the word? I can never say it.
Yeah, Halcyon, I believe. Yes.
That's the one. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to get back to those days, and just have that ethos of, one day, get the bands there. We're there for the music. That's the important thing. Um, and that's how it started. So many, many conversations took place back and forth with many, many people. Um, and it just sort of said, yeah, we'll do it, we'll give it a go. So we had some flyers made up. Chris Sunby was on board. He made a few phone calls, got a few bands. We put together a few flyers, just with about, oh, I think there were 5 or 6 bands on it. We had Handed Dimes. We had
Yeah.
Skid Row signed up very quickly,
The
which was
day. Yeah.
what a bonus. I mean, Skid Row for a
Yeah.
festival that nobody knew anything about,
Yeah.
they committed to it. And then we had Graham Bonnet, which was great because that was
That's great.
harking
Great
back to the
tie-in for
early
the
days.
old Monsters of Rock. Yeah. Brilliant. That.
Absolutely. And then we pushed the flyers and, we found Newark Showground, which was a central location, only a stone's throw away from the old Donington.
Yeah.
So everything sort of linked in with the old Monsters of Rock. And then the ethos was is fans doing it for the fans. So that's where that tagline came from.
Yeah.
And we sort of the ball started rolling or the stone started rolling downhill. Um, and it just took a life of itself. And at one point, we thought, crikey, are we bitten off more than we could chew? Because you've got to pay for these things, haven't you, Darren?
Yeah.
And we were asking people to sort of commit to something new, something that may work, may not. We didn't know. We firmly believed it would, and you have to have that belief, otherwise we'd be going nowhere. So people bought into it, and people were so generous and so kind, and they were chucking money at us. Really, they were buying tickets without knowing what the full lineup would be,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is reminiscent of what they do nowadays. In fairness, they're still doing the same
Well,
thing.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
God love them all. Um, and yeah, we got to about a month to go, and we thought, crikey, we're desperately short of cash here. And a few frantic phone calls were made. Can you give some money to us if you need it? And a few of us committed to saying yes. We believe in it. We'll make it work. And then in the last month, sales went through the roof, and all we were aiming to do in that first year was break even,
Yeah.
which we did.
Yeah.
Which we did.
Brilliant.
Um,
Excellent.
it's interesting looking back, Darren, at how
Yeah.
naive, I guess, we were in those early days. Security, we didn't know much about it, and there were people wandering around backstage, and it was a real learning curve. But we learned a heck of a lot from that first year, and we were able then to sort of right the wrongs, if you like, from the first year and put it right in the second year. But
Yeah.
I think, we had, gosh, how much was it? About 1,200 people, I think, in the first year turned up,
Oh, was it?
which was amazing. And about 50 volunteers.
Right.
So, yeah. And it was a case of the blind leading the blind and trying to do the best that we could. But as I say, what a steep learning curve that first year was. But I think the beauty of it was, without that steep learning curve, I don't think we'd have got as good as we have done over the years. We
Yeah,
needed that to learn,
probably.
and we learned very, very quickly.
Fantastic. And it's gone on from strength to strength. I mean, I came to the first one 2018 because I can't remember where I saw it, just an advert for the show. And I've told you this story. I've told everybody this story. Two of my most favourite bands, as you said, Skid Row headlined. Underneath them, it was Choir Boys. Two
Yeah,
of my most favourite bands. And I saw that and thought, that's a good gig. Looked and saw it said Newark, knowing that Skid Row are from New Jersey. There's a Newark, New Jersey. So I thought, oh,
yeah,
that'll
yeah,
be in their home, New Jersey. Looked a bit further down, Newark, Nottinghamshire, which, as you know, is just like half an hour from me. I went, no, that
yeah,
can't be right. I had to double check. I did a couple of searches that this wasn't, a scam or anything. It was like, oh my God, this is real. So we came, me and my wife and friends of ours, we came first year on the strength of that, really, and that was a great year. Discovered massive wagons there, fantastic. Yeah, I think there's
yeah,
always a year, isn't there, where there's a band that everybody like discovers.
yeah, yeah.
That year, massive wagons was mine that year, and it was just flicking through the program. Whatever it was saying it's run by volunteers, run on the ethos, as you said, fans, by the fans, for the fans. And so, well, we got to help with this. And so we've been volunteering since 2019, and it's great. I love volunteering there. It's really good. I've been to other festivals where I've kind of thought, oh, we could volunteer here. We've done it at Stonedead, and it doesn't seem to be the same. And I don't know what it is. Do you think there's some kind of secret ingredient with Stonedead volunteering?
I think it's that whole vibe of Stonedead, and it permeates through the volunteers, to the bands, to the production. It's that feeling of, I don't like using the term, but it is very much a family community feel, and I think the volunteers buy into that. Um, and you've been to many of my daily briefs, you poor
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Uh, and the first thing I'll say to the volunteers is,
No,
remember, you're the face of Stone
yeah,
Dead. You're
yeah.
the first face that people see when they walk in through that gate. You know, be happy, be smiley, make people feel welcome, help them. And I
Mm.
think from year one, the volunteers have taken that on board. And I think from reviews and things that I've read, that people always comment on how friendly and approachable the volunteers are. So that for me is the main sort of driving force behind the volunteers, is be approachable, be engaging, welcome people. And one of the things I love doing, and I get a lot of the vols to do it, is when we open the gates, we've got a few volunteers there welcoming people in. And then when people leave at the end of the day or the end of the evening, we've got a tunnel of volunteers all thanking the people for coming. And people really appreciate that. They appreciate the human touch, and the paying public that come in buy into that as well, and they're as massively important to the festival as anybody else, because if we make them feel happy and comfortable and they have a good time, then we've done our job. And as volunteers, that's all we can do.
Yeah, that's right. Well, my job there, and on the Sunday morning when everybody's packing up and leaving, we're all waving everybody off, and like you said, we're thanking people for coming. But more than that, they are thanking us more than ever. They're winding the windows down, just going past, pipping and shouting, "Thank you very much. See you next year." And that it's a great feeling. One of my favourite feelings of being a volunteer at Stonedead Festival. That one for sure.
Yeah, it's quite funny. I was saying when people are leaving, you're saying, "Thank you for coming. Hope to see you next year." And I'll say, "Thank you very much for coming." And they'll say, "No, no, no. Thank you for what
Yeah.
you do." And you know what? It's such a good feeling that we can put on a show that people come and they enjoy it and they appreciate. They appreciate the bands, they appreciate the production, but they appreciate the volunteers because it's a difficult job. You know yourself, we do
Yeah,
long hours.
it is. Yeah, yeah,
And especially in the earlier years when we didn't have the manpower that we've got nowadays, it was quite difficult and people were working long hours. And you'd say to them, "Go for a break." And they say, "No, it's fine. We're fine where we are. We'll stay here. We're all right. We're good." I say, "No, no, no. Go for a break. You need a break." "No, no, no. We're fine."
yeah,
And that's the sort of attitude that our volunteers have. They love being a part of it. They're so invested in it. I was thinking about this earlier and I thought, we get a lot of new volunteers every year, but the split is about 75-25.
yeah,
75% that have been with us the whole journey, and about 25% every year that we get that new, there or thereabouts. And I always think that's amazing. But my work starts as soon as Stonedead finishes. I
yeah,
start again. The recruitment process starts again. And it's the first few years were difficult because it's really difficult to generate the interest to get the volunteers in. But as the years have gone by, I guess we've gone up 50 volunteers every year. So in the
right.
first
Oh,
year
right.
we were
Yeah,
on 50,
yeah,
right? Second year we had about 100, third year about 150, and now we're looking at 250 for this year.
right.
Um,
Fantastic.
but as the festival's grown, I don't mean grown in attendance, but as the festival itself has grown, and we've become hopefully more professional in what we do. I believe we have, and I think we do it really well. The need for more volunteers has become quite apparent. This year, as you know, we've got a couple of new areas that we're having to look
Oh, yeah,
after as well.
yeah,
So we've got a second camper van field now, because let's face it, Darren, we're an aging demographic that come to Stonedead, a lot of us.
yeah. We are.
And a lot of people have binned the tents and now they want to stay in their camper vans.
Yeah,
So our car park crew, along with yourselves on the Red Gate, which is the guest and artist
yeah.
entrance, we've had to grow those teams to obviously compensate for more people coming in. So we've got this extra field now for the camper vans, camper van 2 field, which is great. So that means those oldies can ditch our tents and come in our vans. And then also we lost a bit of ground because the showground sold a bit the bottom, where the runways come into a V,
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
and we had parking down the bottom
That's
there.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
they've sold that bit of land. So we
Okay.
thought, crikey, where are we going to put the day parkers now? So what we've done is we've opened the other runway on the other side so that day parking will all be on that runway. So by doing that, we've had to have more car park staff, clearly.
Yeah.
And also we've opened the second box office now on that side. So we'll have 2 box
Oh, of
offices.
course. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously the need for more staff is quite apparent. So I've been under pressure this year to try and get some more,
Cool.
and I'm always looking for more.
Yeah.
Strangely, every year we have a percentage that don't turn up. For whatever reason, illness, other commitments, blah 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 blah. So we have a percentage, roughly about 10% every year that don't turn up.
Okay.
So I have to factor that into the numbers as well.
Right.
So I did a head count and I thought I need 225 bare minimum to cover
Yeah.
all the areas, cover all the breaks so that people have breaks is important because especially if we have the weather that we had in 22 and it was so hot, people need that time off. So we try and encourage people now to be rotated and rostered in. So all the team leaders for different areas will have their own rosters. I know Kev has one for you on
Yeah.
Redgate.
Yeah.
And we try and encourage people to have regular breaks. Not everyone takes them, and you lot on Redgate are the worst because you never go off on a break.
It's because we love it so
I
much.
know.
But it's for me, it's the FOMO, fear of missing out. I might miss out on something if I go back to my tent for a drink or go into the rest area that's for us all. I might miss something.
Yeah, well, and I think a few people feel the same. So people are reticent to leave their posts just in case. And the guys on the car park, people think, oh, the car park, oh God, what an awful job that is. It's probably one of the best jobs because you meet and greet all the paying guests as they come in. And it's fabulous because they're coming in all happy. They're seeing our volunteers. Our volunteers are there helping and smiling and doing the best that they can. I think that's one of the best jobs there, you know. And I'll tell you why, because of the 26, 28 people we have on the car park, nearly all of them are return volunteers.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
know it's that. I did a bit of car park on my first year, 2019. I really enjoyed it because, like you said, everybody's coming in happy.
yeah,
They're going, "Oh, you're right." A bit of a chat with them. Right, where do we tent? Do we go right over there? Well, no, it's just there, mate.
yeah,
Just pitch your tent there and have a good time. And yeah, I've noticed the car park. They're the crew, aren't they? That's
yeah,
it, permanent crew, basically.
yeah. And every year since we've started, I'll put out for volunteers and people will sign up. They'll fill in the registration form and then they'll say, please can I go to the car park? Please can I go onto Redgate? Please can I do the box office? So we got returning volunteers every
Yeah,
year and they're specifying, which makes my life a lot easier,
yeah,
where they want to work, you
yeah.
know. And that says a lot. I think it says a lot about the festival. It says a lot about our team leaders that people want to go back to those areas to work. And some places, like yourselves on Redgate, you don't exactly see the bands
No,
from where you are, but you can hear them. But
yeah,
also, if it's
definitely.
rotated in properly and people get their breaks, because you can say, "Oh, I want to see so and so band," and you'll get
Yeah,
rotated in, so you got that
yeah,
time off to go and watch the bands.
yeah,
I think it's important that the volunteers have that time so that they can actually experience the festival, the music, the whole ambience of the festival, which is a bit special. I go to lots of festivals, as do you, and a lot of it is about the atmosphere
yeah.
and soaking in the atmosphere. And I think Stonedead, since day one, has had this wonderful atmosphere, this community feel, the fact that people have just bought into it completely. And it's lovely because you speak to some of the paying guests and they'll come up to you and go, hiya, Dewi, how are you? Hiya, Dan. They know us. And
Yeah,
there's
they do.
very
Yeah,
few places, very few festivals that the paying public come in and they know the volunteers, they know the production, they know the directors. There's that community feel. And
hmm.
that's something that I try and encourage with the volunteers. You know, I don't have to encourage it because they
You
buy
don't.
into
No,
it anyway. They
you
love it.
don't. Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned a few things. We want to chat about what you get out of volunteering. For me, it's just to be part of that for the fans, by the fans. I'm a fan, as you are, as we all are at Stonedead. So I just like to give back with Stonedead. And it is hard work. I would say that if anybody wants to volunteer, it is hard work. But just wanted to get across as you did, as you said, you get plenty of breaks, but plenty of time for breaks. You do get to see the band. You're not stuck on, car park or whatever for like the whole weekend. Don't get to see anything, only hear it from a distance, you get a good amount of time off. So it is hard work, but really rewarding, and you get to see plenty of stuff. Plus, tell everybody about the little goodie bag we get.
The little goodie bag. Every volunteer that signs up, and the only sort of condition that we put in place is that we ask people to do a minimum of 2 days to qualify for the goodie bag. But do you know what? Everybody gets one, but don't tell everyone. Um, so, so, so you get a one-off T-shirt. You get a one-off T-shirt, which is hey
From 2022.
2022 T-shirt, which is specifically for volunteers. Nobody else has them. They're fairly unique. So you get that. You get meal vouchers. You get merch discount. You get, crikey, what else do you get? You get so many things. There's a whole list of things. I wish I had it in front of me now, Darren. I haven't. But our merch man puts it all together. You get all sorts of little bits of goodies in there as well that the merchant throws in. What else do you get in that goodie bag?
Are we this year? Are you doing like a souvenir laminate?
Yes, yeah, souvenir laminates. Yeah, souvenir tickets.
Although that's my wife's. That's
Oh,
from
there we go. Sue.
whatever that. That's last year's 2023
There you go.
souvenir laminate. Oh yeah. Souvenir ticket as well. Did I
Yeah,
see old Merchant of Dead? He's throwing in a tote bag this year, or am I imagining that?
I think you might be right, Darren.
I seem to
I know.
remember that.
I know he's chucking a couple of extras in this year. But on top of that, the goodie bag in itself is worth probably the admission that the paying guests pay. You know,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
defo.
it's
For sure.
pretty good. And God love him, he spends the first couple of days before we open putting all the goodie bags together for the volunteers to go and pick them up from his little tent, big tent, actually. The other thing that people need to realise as well when they volunteer, but again, don't tell everyone, is that we've got a brick-built, purpose-built shower block.
Oh yeah,
as you know.
Yeah.
So this is, at certain times, early morning, late in the evening, that's just for the use of volunteers. We do allow disabled and or accessibility guests to use that as well. But first thing in the morning up until 9-10 o'clock, that's purely for volunteers. And again, in the evening, it's purely for the use of volunteers. So that's a real bonus. Plus,
that is, that shower in the morning, that is really good. That is excellent. I'd forgotten about that, but that is really something I look forward to.
It's quite a perk. Plus, volunteers get to camp within the wire, as it were. They've got their own designated camping space. And this year, Darren, just behind our headquarters, there's one of the show rings. So all the volunteers have got that area now. So you're away from accessibility.
Oh, that's brilliant.
We split accessibility, guest and volunteers. So you've got your own place, so it'll be peaceful, quiet, so people can get their head down, have a rest. Talking about having a rest, we've got the headquarters, and 50% of that building, big long building, 50% of that is split. So you've got production on one side, and then you've got the volunteers' rest area on the other side. So as you know, we have tables, chairs, we've got toasters, we've got fridges, we've got coffee, tea making facilities. And of course, a lot of the volunteers bring all sorts of goodies with them. So you've got trestle tables full of snacks and crisps and biscuits and chocolates and God knows what else. Oat cakes, you name it, we've got it. So our volunteers can happily go in the break and help themselves to various bits of snacks. Hospitality, the lovely Louise Bailey, the head of hospitality and one of the directors, will also supply breakfast. So we've got cereals, we've got toast, we've got croissants because we're posh. We've got all sorts on the go there. So that's a big perk as well. We look after the volunteers as best as we possibly can.
You certainly do. Yeah, that like you said, loads of snacks and stuff in that staff area. You definitely won't go hungry. there's a little, you can go into the little, what they've got at the showground, little cafe area, can't you? Where you said there's the fridges, I think you did say that, and there's all water and things
Yeah,
like that. Don't remember if you've just mentioned there's a microwave there for anybody needs, if anybody brings stuff and heat
yeah.
up. It's really home from home. You've got
Mm.
everything, maybe apart from a dishwasher. So bring paper plates.
Yeah, her name is Helen Roberts. No, God love her. No, no, we actually had two volunteers, possibly three this year, that look after the volunteer rest area. So it's kept tidy and clean and all the
Yeah,
rest of it.
yeah.
So it's just another nice little touch, so people don't have to worry about it. Um, talking about the kitchen is quite funny because I don't know if you remember, was it last year or the year before? One of our lovely volunteers, Ian McDonough, brought a wheel of cheese.
Yeah.
A wheel of cheese?
Yeah, he did.
It was
Yeah,
a
it was
half
it.
ton of
It was
cheese.
like it filled like the shelf of the fridge. That was great that year. What that was because I was on a keto diet, just meat and cheese. So I'm like, whoa, I'll have some of that. Thank you very much.
And the other thing as well, I forget, some of our paying guests have brought us food in the past. Gareth
Right?
Crowley
Yeah.
and the boys in South Wales. Gareth will do his various pies and all sorts of stuff, and he'll deliver them to the headquarters for the volunteers. You know, it's just such a lovely feel, and I've never seen it replicated anywhere else.
No.
I really haven't. It seems peculiar just to Stone Dead, and it's a lovely thing. Do you know what? I can't express how much people should volunteer and get that other side of a festival. We've all been to festivals, we've all gone there to watch the music and have a great time. But for me personally, it was important that I gave something back.
Yeah.
So having that opportunity, as you mentioned, is that giving back.
Yeah.
Having been to festivals for, oh God, longer than I care to remember. I was in the first Monsters of Rock in 1980.
Was yeah.
So yeah, been round. I don't look it, I know, but I've been round a
You
long
don't
time.
know.
No, there you are. Do you know what? I do like you.
I thought you were my age, mate.
I'm old. Um, so it's that, you know, I've seen it, I've been there to many of them, but I don't really know what goes on behind the scenes. And having that opportunity to be a small cog in that wheel and a small cog in a very successful festival, which we have become, award-winning festival, may I say.
It is,
Um,
yes.
yeah. So just to be able to give back that little something, you know, to the people that love the genre of music that we love is just a special thing. Year one, when we opened those gates, just thinking about it now, I stood there with Neil Maynell and we both cried.
Yeah.
We
I
both
don't blame
cried.
you.
When we saw those people walking through the gate, I looked at Neil and Neil says, Christ, we've done it. I said, yeah, we have.
Yeah.
And we broke down. A few of us broke down that day, I must be honest. But every year is the same. And I don't break down every year now. I don't think anyway, no. I do get quite emotional when you see the people coming in. It makes you feel really warm and fuzzy
Yeah.
because you're doing something for people that enjoy the same thing as we do. We're giving that little bit back. And I think people appreciate it. They really do. Plus, our tickets are damn cheap, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, mate. Yeah. I don't
What a
know what to say
show.
about
What
that,
a
really.
show.
They are. I don't know why I would say, you're doing it too cheap, but just do what you and the rest of the production team needs to do. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's great. Let's face it, Saxon, talking about Monsters Rock, Saxon this year, that's got to be, and I think Chris has said that's the one you was aiming for from the start. Yeah, got to be.
From year one, from year one, we wanted Saxon. They were the top of the list because of the association, obviously,
Yeah,
with Monsters of Rock.
yeah,
And we asked Saxon every year, but there was always something that it just didn't quite work. So
yeah,
when Chris announced that we had Saxon this year, oh man, we were all made up, all
yeah,
made up.
yeah.
But the
I
interesting
was,
thing, as
I
you
was as
know,
well.
well, I think
There was a
everyone
lot of
was.
chat. I wasn't there. Oh, it'll be Saxon. It'll be Saxon. Then other
Yeah,
people saying,
yeah.
"Oh no, well it could be this," and I'm like, I was happy with whatever it was, but I was like, fingers crossed that it was going to be Saxon. So when you announced it was, I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah. I was also thinking they better play, and I bet they will. The band's played on. and also one of my favourite tracks of theirs is "Ride Like the Wind." So I hope they
Yeah.
play that as well. So we'll see.
There's a hell of a back catalogue there, isn't there, Darren? So
Oh, God,
God knows what they're
yeah,
going to play. They could be
yeah,
there for hours, really. Um, but
yeah,
it was such a coup, I think, to get Saxon. And the beauty of it was, as you know, we'd sold out way before we
yeah,
announced that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
4 years on the trot now, we've sold out, and
yeah,
this year was spectacular.
yeah.
So anybody who's thinking of going next year, get your tickets on the day. Don't
Indeed,
leave
yeah,
it
yeah. Early birds go on sale on the day, don't they? Is that right?
on the day. On the
Yeah,
day, on the Saturday, the early birds will be on sale. I will also be taking volunteers registrations from that day as well. So anybody who wants to sign up for 2026, 2025, what year are we?
yeah. It'll be
Told you I was old.
2025. Yeah, we're
2025.
24 at the moment. I'm just looking at my clock
Yeah,
there. Yeah, it is
yeah. They need to get in quick.
25.
Um, but as I say, for this year, Krusher, God love him, our
Yeah,
compare, our
yeah.
indomitable compare, Krusher, did a little shout out for us on Facebook. I don't know if you saw that the
Yeah,
other day.
I saw that, and hopefully when this video goes out, I'll try and see if I can put a link into
Awesome.
that so everybody else can see it. That was I'm gonna say so Crusher. That was brilliant. That was.
It
Um,
was fantastic, and we've had a couple come through already to volunteer for this year.
good,
So
good.
it always works. Krusher's always a great help
Yeah,
when it comes to getting volunteers. He's such a big part of the festival now.
yeah.
You know, he his fee is still the same as it was in year one. It hasn't
Was
changed.
it?
God love him. Yeah, he bought into it, and this is a man who's been around forever. You know,
Yeah,
who's partnered with Motorhead, Motley Crue, and all the
yeah,
rest of them. He bought into Stonedead as it was the first year. He said, "Yeah, I'm up for this. Absolutely, totally get the ethos. I'm in." And he stayed in, and there's no sign of him leaving. He is as much part of Stonedead as everything else now.
yeah. I think so. You're right there. Yeah, I saw that bit. Plug-in volunteering at Stonedead. That was great. As I said, I'll try and put a link to that on there. But this is why we're talking. We said how great Stonedead is. We said
Yeah.
how much we love giving back to the fans. I anybody asks me, I always say Stonedead volunteering. Love it. So, anybody else wants to get involved? Tell everybody how they can get involved volunteering for Stonedead.
Right. Okay. Very simple. One of the ways you can get involved is to go onto the website, onto the Stonedead website, www.stonedeadfestival.co.uk. God, I did well to remember that on my age. And if you go onto the information, it says info, click on that. Then you go on to other, click on other. Then you see volunteers, click on volunteers and follow it down. You'll say registration form for volunteers. Click on that, fill the registration form in. It comes directly to me. I will answer that email to say, thank you very much. Yes, you're in. Or I won't say no. From now until show day, I'll still take volunteers on.
Yeah,
So if people think they're too late, they're not. And if people
no,
want that experience and they want to experience the other side of a festival and see what goes on to make a production work and be a part of that, then this is the ideal opportunity for them. And
yeah,
I would urge people to do it. Because if you've never done it, by God, are you missing out?
yeah,
Because it is good fun. You
it
said
is.
earlier, what do you
Yeah.
get? What do you get for volunteering? And I was laughing internally, thinking blisters.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because we do some walking. I think the first few years I was walking on average 40 odd thousand steps a day, which is absolutely great, isn't it? But now
Defo.
we've got our team sorted and the team leaders in all the areas, people aren't doing as much walking, which is far better. Even though it's a compact site and everything's close together, in the early days we were walking backwards and forwards here, there, and everywhere. Not so much now because the teams are all set up. They've all got team leaders. People know their place. The only walk you've got is from the arena up to HQ for a break,
Yeah,
car park to HQ, wherever to
yeah.
HQ
That's
for your
not, and
break.
that's not far, is it?
It really isn't. It's such a compact site. So I
Mhm.
would say to anyone, if you want to experience a festival, but from a different perspective, and you
Yeah,
want to get something out of it, and you want to give back, please, 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 I urge you, come and volunteer. Nobody I know regrets it. Everyone loves it, you
Yeah,
know? And it
yeah,
says because we've got repeat volunteers coming year
that's
after
right.
year after year after year.
Yeah, I totally echo that. Like I said, I first volunteered along with my wife, as you know, 2019. We've been ever since, and we will continue doing. And you've had people right from the start, haven't you? 2018,
Yeah.
still there volunteering every year.
Um, we welcome volunteers from the Monday, actually, onwards. So a whole week, Monday to the Monday, would be amazing. But it's any day really. The majority turn up on a Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we have another load that turn up for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday's a big day.
Yeah,
Sunday's a hard working day because
yeah,
we're breaking it down, we're clearing up, we're doing
yeah.
lots of work on the Sunday. So the more people that we can encourage to work and stay on the Sunday, the easier it is for everyone.